news your way. Join in on the conversation with MyFox Memphis on Twitter and Facebook. Your two-screen experience starts now.
Happy New Year's to folks in New Zealand. It's already 2015. Auckland, one of the first cities to celebrate, ringing in around 6 o'clock this morning, our time. And look at the fireworks. Good morning and thanks for joining us. I'm Ernie Freeman. All across the world, cities are preparing for the arrival of 2015. Memphis is no different. The annual Guitar on Beale Street going to be at the new location this year outside the new Hard Rock Cafe at Beale and 2nd. A 10-foot guitar going to drop from 100 feet over Beale Street at midnight, kickoff 2015. CNN's going to be broadcasting the whole thing live to the world. The party starts at 6:30 on Beale Street. It's going to end at 2 o'clock in the morning tomorrow morning. And at midnight, the Barcades, they will perform Old Lang Syne. And as festivities continue, law enforcement going to be stepping up efforts to keep drunk drivers off the roads. Scott Mattis is downtown with more on that part.
Well, good morning. Reporting here at the intersection of 2nd and Beale, directly behind me, of course, the scaffolding. This is essentially where that 10-foot guitar in front of the Hard Rock Cafe will be dropped at the stroke of midnight to celebrate New Year's Eve into New Year's Day as we usher in 2015. All right, but let's get straight to the point. Law enforcement all across the metro, really all across the country, saturating all metropolitan and even rural areas, looking for impaired or drunk driver. It's going to be an amazing night. I'm, of course, hosting this event that, again, starts at 6:30. So come on down, have fun, and don't forget, wear a warm coat and some gloves. It's going to be a cold one. All right, for now, reporting at 2nd and Beale, Scott Mattis, Fox 13 News.
All right, Scott. Well, here's another city shying away from the classic ball drop, Indianapolis, gearing up for its first ever New Year's Eve party with a car. Spectators got the first look at the speed racer. Organizers say dropping the car at midnight will draw plenty of people downtown to appreciate the city's history as the home of the Speedway.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year!
All right, New York City had a test run yesterday, making sure everything is in working order before thousands pour into Times Square. Of course, the Big Apple is sticking with the tradition with that iconic New Year's Eve ball, that sparkling sphere powered by more than 32,000 LED lights, covered with some 2,600 crystals. It's being lit and sent up to its 130-foot pole. Going to be a big time as we ring in the new year, Ed.
Yeah, man. It should be okay. It's going to be cold out there, I know that.
All right, Ed, new on Fox this morning, a water main breaks and frozen streets causing some problems for drivers early this morning. This is video from Midtown this morning at Linden and Danny Thomas. That's where a pipe burst. Another pipe burst at Summer and Perkins earlier in the morning. Water from that pipe leaking onto the street and freezing. It was that cold. And a developing story, armed and dangerous. That's how Mississippi investigators are describing a man wanted in connection with a murder in Oklahoma. They say the man, who has not been identified, beat James Fox to death December 11th. Investigators say he met Fox on Craigslist and lived in his home for a while. Fox's vehicle was found on the side of the road, I-55 in Panola County, 11 days after the murder.
We are still not positive on the identification of the gentleman. We know that he's been using the deceased's identity. We've been trying to follow the money, so to speak, following the debit cards and the credit cards. The disadvantage that we've run into is just recently all the cards have been maxed out.
Anyone with information on this man's whereabouts should contact the police department. Well, a North Mississippi community remembers 3 children who lost their lives in a fire, a tragic fire, a vigil in Byhalia, Mississippi last night. 8-month-old Michaela, 1-year-old Abel, and 2-year-old Tylen all died in that fire. They were staying with their grandmother when the fire started early Sunday morning. A GoFundMe account has been set up to help the family with the expenses. And for more information on that, you can log on to our website, myfoxmemphis.com, to help that family out. Well, a broken pipe leaves families of sick children at St. Jude Hospital out in the cold. It happened during the first week of December at the Ronald McDonald House. And now those families are staying at Target House and Tri-Delta Place, which also provides free housing to families at St. Jude patients. The executive director of Ronald McDonald House says the past couple of weeks have been tough, but they've applied for permits to start rebuilding, which should be available by the end of January.
So it's a setback. It's a setback. It's Ronald McDonald House is a house, and so for those people that are watching that have had, pipes break in the winter and water damage in their own homes and leaky roofs, what a chore it is, and how much of a hassle it is, that recovery process and rebuilding.
You can donate to the Ronald McDonald House. Just log on our website, myfoxmemphis.com, or the Facebook page. We have a link that shows you how you can help out. And those families certainly appreciate that. Well, the holiday season is ending, and this means tax time is right around the corner. The IRS says taxpayers can start filing their 2014 tax returns on January 20th. January 20th. The filing season is actually starting on time, this despite the last-minute tax law passed by Congress just this month. The IRS says last year it was able to issue most tax refunds within 3 weeks if those returns were filed electronically. All right, to the Health Watch now. The CDC says the flu has reached epidemic levels here in the United States. The department warning every state will likely have flu cases within the next few weeks and should expect more deaths. So far, 15 children have died this flu season. This includes 3 children from Tennessee. The CDC recommending that everyone 6 months and older get a flu shot. The flu reaches epidemic levels in the U.S. every year, but we won't know how this year compares to last year until maybe April or May. Coming up, it is a shake-up some are saying they have never heard before. We're going to share the Pope's newest mission, mixing faith and science. Bad weather appears to have been a factor in the disappearance of Asia Air Flight 8501. It is also causing big complications for search crews. Still, large pieces of the plane may have been located in the sea floor in Indonesia. Fox 13's Washington correspondent Justin Gray has more.
10 bodies have now been recovered, 9 passengers and a flight attendant. That flight attendant identified by her uniform. An emotional scene this morning in Surabaya, Indonesia, as the first 2 bodies arrived. Reporting in Washington this morning, Justin Gray, Fox 13 News.
Well, another top story this morning, Pope Francis is making a clear distinction between him and his predecessors. The Holy Father is calling on Catholics to fight climate change. He is doing so by sending a letter to bishops next year. Reportedly, the message has already caused a great divide.
To pick a contentious scientific issue, which even now, going on, almost 2 decades of no global warming, going on sea ice recovering, going on sea level rise, actually decelerating on every metric from polar bears on down, the global warming narrative has weakened. And to now have a pope jump on that bandwagon would sow confusion, I think, among Catholics.
The climate issue is only the latest of the Pope's controversies. Earlier this month, he won President Obama's praise for helping broker the new relationship between the United States and Cuba, and he recently asked churches to modernize their view of divorce and gays.
Hey, my friends, seeing the clouds come and go with some sunshine out there. Still a cold day.
All right, Ed, let's go across America now. An autopsy will be performed today on a man accused of making threats against law enforcement in a YouTube video. Philadelphia police say they were attempting to arrest the man for threatening to kill police and FBI agents on the internet. The tense situation unfolded Tuesday afternoon in the parking lot of a bank. Police shot and killed the man after he reportedly tried to run down officers with his car. No officers were hurt. Well, Chicago may be falling behind in the battle to win the Obama Presidential Library. Both the University of Illinois at Chicago and the University of Chicago are finalists for the library. Here's the problem, though, with the potential U of C sites is that they are both located on parkland not fully owned by those universities. Leaders say this could lead to delays in getting the library built. New York has bid on the honor as well for Columbia University. That school says it will build on a site already zoned for a library. President Obama and the First Lady Michelle Obama are expected to choose the final location by early next year. Well, leaping lizards targeted all over an orphan's clothing. Find out what's got people so upset about some ads from Target.